Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Michelle Crawford, certified cannabis health coach and educator. And I'm so excited to bring to you one of my favorite people, students, citizens of Hawaii, someone who's truly a miracle worker, doing the work, doing the DIY. I've appreciated her as a CCI student, as a homemade health student, and as a friend. Welcome everyone to my channel, please, my friend, Tricia Mills. Tricia, would you mind introducing yourself to the people, please?
Aloha, my name is Tricia Mills, and I've lived in the Hawaii state of mind for 30 years.
Yes.
30 years. And I became familiar with cannabis, reacquainted with cannabis in 2010
Okay.
after I'd had knee surgery in 2008, and I was still in pain and using a cane. And in 2010, Hawaii introduced cannabis to legalize medicinal cannabis. And I started using cannabis in 2010, and that is when my pain began to fade away. And probably within a year of having used cannabis, I was one day cleaning my house and I found myself under the table and I went, wait a minute. I am under the table, my knees are bent, and I'm not in any pain. Jerry, come look, I'm under the table.
Look at me. Look at what I'm doing. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
it's amazing. I'm under the table.
It's a
And so
miracle.
it is. So yes, that was my introduction to cannabis because I was in chronic pain, and
Yeah.
I use cannabis daily now. I'm no longer in chronic pain. Everything is under control. So yeah, I'm
And wouldn't
living here
that
in
just
Hawaii.
be enough right there? Wouldn't you be back then when you think about the problems that you were having and overcoming? That's enough. That's enough right there. But you're
Right.
not on for that. That's not the end of your story by far, is it, Trisha?
No, it's not the end of my story by far, but really my story begins on March 3rd of 1990 when I became clean and sober. And so when I was needing surgery in 2006, and they gave me 188 opiates a month for 2 years before they decided to give me surgery, I was on a very slippery slope. So when it came to using cannabis, it was a spiritual struggle because I was clean and sober from drugs and illegal drugs. And using cannabis seemed like I would get high. And that took a big mindset shift. And the first time I used cannabis, I got very high because I used way too much.
Mhm.
I tried to smoke a whole joint. It's like things are changed over all these years. But after using cannabis for a couple of years, I shared that story with you. And now, I retired from working in 2017, and so I've been able to go to school to the Cannabis Coaching Institute and learn the science behind how cannabis works in our body, and coaching people on how to use cannabis. And that opened up a whole new world for me because I met you, and you taught me about the Six Sisters, and I've been able to make my formulations to help not only myself, but my husband and my friends. And I was offered the opportunity to display my products out at Waialua CARE, which is a cooperative here on the island of Oahu, where a lot of farmers come and sell their products to cannabis patients. So you have to have a 329 card, which is the medicinal card here in Hawaii, to come in and utilize. And most people have the farm grow their plants there. But I was offered the opportunity to display my products. And that has been the opportunity of a lifetime because I have made 3 specific products for that: my SALVE-ation, which is a Six Sister pain reliever. And then I also infused either sweet almond oil or almond oil, again with Six Sisters. And those are used topically. Everything's used topically. And I'm quite amazed at the response I've had from people. And I have repeat customers, and it's moving along really beautifully. And I had no idea when I started the Cannabis Coaching Institute that my life was going to take this turn. I've just, so much is happening. And I'm sure I more than answered your question there. Yeah.
More than answered, but in a beautiful way, in your own way. And that's this kind of story that people need to hear. You know what we should probably do though, Tricia, is tell people what are the Six Sisters? Tell
The
them
Six
about your
Sisters.
formulations. Like we're walking up to you at the farm and we don't know anything. Like, hey, what have you got here? What is this?
So aloha, my name is Tricia, and I infuse 3 different products with THC, CBD, and CBG. So from those cannabinoids, I decarboxylate half of them. So you're getting the benefit of the THCA and the THC. You're also getting the CBDA as well as the CBD, CBGA, and CBG. So you're getting all of the benefits of those 6 cannabinoids. But as we all know, cannabis has 120 or more different cannabinoids.
Mm.
I'm only identifying 6 that I'm formulating to give you an idea of how much cannabinoids you're going to be putting on your skin. With my SALVE-ation, you're going to get about 25 milligrams per half teaspoon. And that half teaspoon is going to go quite far,
Oh,
right? Quite far.
yes. Yes.
So, and that's also what's in the sweet almond oil or the avocado oil. And those are just, they just selling like hotcakes. They do wonders for your skin. I have to say that my husband was in construction for 40 years,
Okay.
and he had different areas where he had cancer removed off of his face,
Uh-huh.
and his arms were like
Wow.
crocodile skin. And his dermatologist has noticed from him using either the sweet almond oil or the avocado oil on his skin that the definition of the crocodile skin has diminished. She can see the healthy skin coming back, which
Your
I think is amazing.
that is your husband's doctor, dermatologist is noticing changes in his, sun exposed from construction work, crocodile arms. That's
Right.
awesome. From using
It
these multi-cannabinoid oils that you create at home, with
mhm.
all of the benefits of all the cannabinoids.
Exactly. And so you're getting, yes, we're identifying 6, but as we know, there's so many more. So you're getting the full entourage effect, the full spectrum of all of the cannabis medicine. It's all working in synergy, and it's making, I hate to use the word magic, but those are the words I've heard from a burn victim, magic,
Let's
that
talk
it took,
about some of your stories. Magic,
right.
miracles, salvation. These are the words that you use every day that you go to the farm to talk to people buying these topicals from you repeatedly, right?
Repeatedly. Yes, I
Yes.
have repeat customers. Yes.
Let's hear
I
about
have
some of
one.
your repeat customers, the
I
burn person, for example, right?
The burn victim is someone I met on probably one of the first 2 or 3 days of being out there. And my husband Jerry's brother was a burn victim himself. He was in a tanker accident, so he was horribly burned over his entire body, and he didn't make it in this world. He ended up committing suicide because of the burn. This man had been burned, Robert, on both of his arms and both of his legs. Everywhere you looked at him, he was burned. And I have people come over to my table, and I say, come by and try, and then maybe next time you'll come back and buy, right? And so he came over, and actually Jerry saw him, and he told him to come over. And so he just started putting it on his arms, and then he put it on his legs, and I could tell that he really needed it, and he was carrying a 6-month-old baby. And so
Wow.
I knew he had already gone, and I could tell that it was going to help him. And I just told him to please take it. Let me know how it feels and how it heals for you. And so he did. He came back, and it was about a month later. And he said that he and his wife both felt that it was a miracle, that it was the first thing that had ever taken away his pain and hydrated his skin. Do you know that he told me they put Crisco on his skin 10 years ago? He's been burned for 10 years. And this is the first thing that helped him. Something I made in my kitchen. It was like, to me, it was like, please take this, let me know how. And how it works. And he did. He came back. And now I have a second story of a young boy. He's probably 17 or 18. His name is Josiah. And he came to the Cannabis Cup that we had in the first part of February. And he had been burned from his knees down, and it looked like he was maybe had been on a moped or something. He had his nylon socks were burned to his feet. You could just tell that he was burned horribly. And so I give him a sample. He puts it on his legs, and it looks like it's not going far enough. So I give him some more, and he takes off his shoes and he rubs it all over his feet and his legs, and he just looks different. His face looks different. And he puts on his shoes and he runs across the field. He
Oh my
runs across the field. That boy. And then he came back later as we were getting ready to go, and he says, Auntie, thank you. That worked so much. Is there anything I can do for you? Can I help you load your stuff? Is there anything I can do for you? Well, anyway, he sent me a letter. He sent me a text and an email, and I want to see if I can find it real quick, because it's those kind of people that I'm making my medicine for. I'm sorry, I can't find it. Just let me find it real quick. Just give me a moment.
Fine. You know, I don't know why I try to wear makeup to speak with my students like you, because I just end up in tears. I don't know.
He says, hi, Tricia and Jerry. Hey guys, it's Joshua or Josiah. I'm thankful that I met you folks and showing me aloha at the Cannabis Cup. I had a great time. Expectantly meeting you folks like you guys help me keep going every day. Believing connection with one another is a blessing. Mahalo and God bless.
What a blessing. It is.
Right?
Connection is a blessing.
And I told him, and I wrote back to him, and I told him, whenever you need more medicine, you just let me know. It's yours. No charge. It's yours. Because to me, burn victims deserve free medicine. If I can help them with
Amen.
my medicine, it's the synergy, it's everything I put in there.
Amen.
But the main ingredient is my love. That's
100%.
to me, that's the brewing, but me making it, all the synergy. I mean, there's magic happening in there. I don't know how it's all happening, but
We
I
don't need
know
to
it's
know how.
happening. I don't need to know how.
We need to know
I don't
how.
need to know how.
Because you're
So
doing
those
it.
those are two stories.
Well, those
So
two stories, I can't even, I'm afraid to wipe my eyes. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing
and
your two stories. You are a miracle maker. I'm so proud of you. I hope you're proud of yourself. I know you are, but you're
I
not, it's
am
not even about pride. It's about the healing,
the healing.
about providing the
And
hope and the relief to people, isn't it?
it is. And I have another story of a masseuse. She gives massages on the beach. She has a place right on the beach, lucky her. And so she's been using my SALVE-ation. She came back, she had bought 2 large jars, and then she came back the other day and she bought 3 jars. And so she's giving these massages on the beach with my SALVE-ation. And she says, people are having life-changing experiences. And it's like, I want to be on that table. So I'm going to make an appointment for her to massage me and my husband, with my SALVE-ation. And to me, that's wonderful that masseuses are using it. And there was,
Yes.
I'm getting so much wonderful feedback and repeat customers. It's just such a blessing. It's only been 3 months, and it's what I wanted to do. It's my word of mouth. I don't do social media. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I don't do any of that. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to be that busy.
Yeah.
But I am busy. I'm making just enough to keep me busy. If I sell 10 units per weekend, that's great. If I only sell 3, I don't care. It's great because I'm meeting all of these people. And in the end, at the end of the month, I reach my financial goal without trying. I'm just sitting there and waiting for people to come up.
Talk about this for a minute. What do you think? And I kind of, it's a leading question. I know the answer, and I want you to share it with everybody. Why you think that your life is satisfying you this way at this juncture? Please tell us about your work that has brought you here.
Well, number one, being clean and sober. That's number one, because without being clean and sober, I wouldn't be any of what I am today. But a year ago, I started working with Moonology. And I read the book by Yasmin Boland, and I was just blown away by learning how to work with the different phases of the moon, the from the new moon going to the first quarter moon to the full moon to the third quarter, and learning how to do forgiveness work and learning that in forgiving, I'm able to manifest a lot faster. And so that has been spiritually, it's enabled me to grow spiritually unlike I've ever done before, because when I got clean and sober, I joined Science of Mind, and that's I'm an individualized expression of God, just as you are, Michelle. We're both God, being
Yes.
individually expressed. How else could we end up on this planet Earth without us all being some expression of God?
It's divine.
Period.
It's divine action.
It's
There's no, there's no way. There's the
there,
odds.
right?
The odds. If you're an
Right?
odds person, the odds are very low that all
Exactly.
of this and all of you and me is going to be here.
Right.
But we are.
And
It's a
and
miracle.
communicate.
Yes.
Right? Right. And so that in itself was very enlightening. But this seems to have taken me to a different level, a different grounding. I've learned how to chant. I use crystals. My husband does moon work with me every month. He looks forward to it
Yes.
because it centers him. It lets him get rid of his bullshit.
Yes.
So I've
Repeat
been
that.
doing it
Lets him
for a
get
year.
rid of his bullshit. Yes.
Exactly.
We all
It's
need to
like
get rid of our bullshit. I just want to say.
right?
Yes.
It's like if you want to hang on to your stuff and carry it around day by day and take it out and look at it, and wasn't that awful? It's like, how boring.
Totally. Can I insert here a little science? You know, I'm a big nerd. So, you know that the only way that we can excrete cortisol, the stress hormone, is through our tears.
Hmm.
That's the only way it
Exactly.
releases from our body, which is to
Hmm.
say that we need to cry it out. Have to. You
Hmm.
literally have to, or it stays inside.
Exactly.
Hand to God.
And there's different tears for sadness
Yeah.
versus your happy tears. They both do something to you, right?
Mhm.
So
Letting that all out.
letting it all go. So yeah, the Moonology, I'm a certified Moonologer, and I have found that, mainly I did it for me.
Yeah.
I because so I could go deeper, so I could understand. And now it's like I'm re-looking at it because there's so much to learn, and I want to learn about astrology now and the planets. And it's like those things interest me. Cannabis has come a long way for me, and I've done a lot of magic with cannabis. And I feel like I'm right where I want to be, working at the farm, meeting people, and then having 4 other days during the week to do other things that interest
Other
me,
things,
share time with
yes.
my husband. So, my life is very full. And, doing the Moonology work, I had a couple of different things that I really wanted. I wanted to learn how to dry and cure cannabis to perfection, because here in Hawaii, the humidity, the temperatures are all over the place, and sometimes it cures beautifully, and oh well, we did really good, and then it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
So I found a cannatrol, and that's going to cure my cannabis scientifically. And the other thing that I wanted to do was to sell my cannabis. And so those things that I really wanted to achieve for myself over a year, those things have happened. So
And
what I found with
beautifully
Muno,
too, right? Beautiful
right,
solutions,
right, with
elegant
the way
solutions, things
you
that
focus on,
profoundly motivate you.
right, you focus on what you do want. You don't focus on what you don't want, because when you focus on what you do want, you're going to put your energy there, and you're going to take action steps to get to the goal. And it's
Mhm.
like it just kind of happened because I focused on what I wanted. And it's beautiful. And just sitting here and going, this is my life now. It's
It's,
incredible.
I have a perspective on it's beautiful. I agree. And that's why I wanted you on the on the show. I don't know, this is a show. So glad you were able to make it. The something you kind of a little bit touched, and I wanted to know if this was a truth for you. You said the cannabis is in a place for me that I'm happy with. I have a perspective on health that, it's a triangle of things. We've got the physical, the mental, and sort of like the spiritual, and maybe it's a square, the environmental also, right? Everything around
Hmm.
us.
Mhm.
And, to be honest, even in cannabis, as deeply as I am, I think of it as a very basic level healing thing, like something to have. It would be wonderful if the world was, and I'm working, and as are you, to make this a normal thing that is the healing available from cannabis is more accessible. Like, I want Americans for Safe Access, for example, to succeed so that more people can have the relief of everyday life issues like getting burned, being able to heal and have relief from that pain, with cannabis is so easy. Don't you think it's like simple in a way?
It is. I mean, and I think it's interesting that you say that now that we've known each other for a couple of years,
Okay.
going through the Cannabis Coaching Institute and how we all learned all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And now here we are. It's like now it's kind of basic. This is kind
Yeah.
of where we're at. We've kind of unwrapped all the cannabis stuff and what we're going to do. And now we're all kind of settling into our chosen paths of cannabis. And it's all kind of simple now.
But then
And
it
that's
allows
great.
you to go from the basics are now covered. You're not niggled by your pains and your baggages and things that you've been able to let go of. And then you found a beautiful framework that works for you, Moonology, to move you through the seasons, to help you embrace the ritual you need to do to improve your spiritual health and
Mhm.
manifest these things in your life. And that, to me, it's like you have basic good health and then you level up and level up. You know what I mean? With
Right,
these other
exactly.
things.
Exactly. So it's kind of like life is a spoke, a bicycle spoke, and you have different areas like diet and exercise, spirituality, relationships, cannabis. All of those things make it all work in homeostasis. And so now things really just feel like the wheel is just moving along
You were the
and
first one to
everything.
have the mandala in your background. I don't
Yeah.
know if you remember that. And we all
Yeah.
loved it so much. And I really am a believer in sacred geometry, this circle that you're describing, the shapes that our lives take, the fractals, the facets of the different parts of us that spiral, and the pattern that you've always put yourself in front of is an example to me of the way
Mm.
you're thinking and the way you've accomplished these things in your life.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is that we keep on growing.
Yeah.
I may be retired, I'm not working, I don't go to a job, but I'm not retired from living. I'm
No.
retired from working. But life is really fascinating now. And to keep it interesting, and before we went to the farm, we would say Discovery Tuesday, and we would go to a different place that we'd never been before and experience it right here. It's like making life exciting and interesting and not just getting into a routine, but keeping it interesting, growing mentally. Yeah, I'm planning to live till I'm 100, but what I do today is going to impact. So, what I'm eating today is going to impact my health down the road. So, being mindful of all of those areas, and the relief from chanting and the meditation and incorporating different things in my life that just make me the best Tricia I can be today. That's
You are the best Trisha. I You've always been the best Trisha, but every day that you're Trisha is honestly the best. Every day I get
right.
to be with you.
Right. Well, and you too, Michelle. I mean, you
Yeah.
always show up and be authentic. You're always the best Michelle. And if you're not, you say so and it's okay because you can share those emotions because you're always up, you're always doing. There's times when we need to just deflate, let it go, cry it out.
Right. Let out
So,
that stuff. Let it out.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed. I was going to ask you to brag about being retired. I was, and you just did it automatically. So thank you for that.
But my life is so much more during retirement.
Yeah.
I get to invite what I want in, you know. My relationship, we're together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 5 years. And so, but and I made the medicine. We have to talk it out. We have to communicate. If you're in a long-term relationship, trust, honesty, truth, they all matter. There's different spokes in a relationship too,
The
right?
relationship aspect is my favorite, Trisha. I was so motivated to get into cannabis by observing the effects on relationships that, like, removing chronic pain from the
Hmm.
lifestyle can create. I mean, it seems so obvious, but it's not, because people aren't really healing from that. They're managing it. It's not the same thing.
Right. And so now that we brought up pain again, I want to talk about my husband again, who was an electrician for 40 years. And so he wore bags on his hips with drills and unnecessary tools just to carry around all day long because you're an electrician. So now he suffers. He has degenerated disc in his back. And so I forgot where I was going with the story.
Pain.
Um, the pain, that's right, in his back. And so I also make suppositories. And he started using suppositories for his back pain because he did something stupid the other day and really hurt his back. And so now after 3 days of using suppositories, he says, suppositories are mandatory. When I hurt my back like this, suppositories are mandatory.
Raise your hand if I mean, if you've had a back, if your back has gone out on you. Come on,
Right,
everybody has that problem.
right.
And if you thought to yourself that if you could get help, I mean, everybody does whatever, they get a massage, take some painkillers, try to stretch. Usually you're stuck. You're kind of like, oh, I can't move. I can't move. Go to the chiropractor, get acupuncture. People will do anything. You're stuck. You have to do
Hmm.
something about it. Suppositories are I want to say Tories, mandatories.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I thought it was great that he was open to it,
Yeah.
first of all. And now it's like even before we go out to the farm, he'll put one in before we go, just because he's driving out there, he's sitting, it hurts his back. And it's like, it's all medicine.
It's all
You
medicine. It's
find
just a
out
matter of location, 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 and engineering the delivery. That's all we're talking about. It's good
exactly.
that he's
And
mature enough to not get worried about using suppositories.
exactly. And then
Yes.
today I learned that at 20 minutes is the amount that time that it takes for the mucus to absorb, and then it's not going to take any more in. It's like, great. He's laying there for 20 minutes before we go in his
Mhm.
bed before we go. And it's like, that's good. That's enough time.
And you
Perfect.
also know that you can re-up later. You can
Right.
go a couple hours and then 20 minutes again. See, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, there you go.
Layering,
Dose
layering.
layering, nothing new, always the same.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay. I was going to ask you about growing and your canatrol,
Mm.
because you are also one in our grow group, and very, very experienced with your grows.
Again, I grow by the moon. I germinate my seeds at the balsamic moon no, I'm sorry, as after the new moon, when she's first starting to appear. Um, I plant the seeds and germinate them into Q plugs, and I have 100% success rate with that.
That's amazing.
So, um,
Grow by the moon,
it,
people. If you're watching this for a grow tip, there it is.
right, I want to go grab my calendar because once I did that, and then it was 6 weeks of grow, and then right before I was going to switch to flower, I knew that that was when they were working on their roots, and it was a good time for me to trim the leaves. And so I lollipopped them, and then 3 weeks later I trimmed them again, and it's like amazing how the trichomes came out, the buds got bigger. And for me, I can grow all these beautiful flowers, and the like I said before, the hard part has been the drying and the curing, because the humidity and the temperature is so hard to chase. And I found a Canatrol unit, which is scientifically, it's a vapor control. It's based on cheese and meat curing, and it slowly takes the vapor out of the flower and seals it. Will seal the terpenes, the trichomes, and you won't be able to smell it until you break it open. And it's like it's sealed it. It's like I can't wait to try the flowers that are growing now, to put them in a canitrol where it can dry. It dries and cures, they say, in 12 days, but we all know that 28 days or more would be better curing, but that would be soon enough for me to use it for my products. So that
Perfect.
there's benefit,
Yes.
and so it will dry and cure 2.2 pounds, and then it will hold it. And then what I'm going to do is buy another unit so that I can store my flowers there at a certain temperature, 65 degrees. And then I can cure the next grow, because the next grow is going to be cloud walker. That's going to be a sativa, and they'll probably grow higher up into the ceiling, you know. So I love growing. We've been growing since Jerry started in 2012, and then 2017 I took over. I changed the lights, I changed air conditioning, I changed the nutrients, and wa fucking la, we have beautiful cannabis flowers. So
Voila! I actually like
yeah,
wa
voila.
fucking la.
Yeah,
Beautiful
wa fucking la.
flowers that you make into beautiful medicine.
Exactly.
Heals the people. I told you
Exactly.
about this
Exactly.
company out here that I love called Papa and Barkley, and their flagship product is a topical balm.
Mm,
And they
interesting.
know, I've heard this, their CEO, Guy Ricoeur, speak, who's, I mean, I'm kind of a fan. And he's like, we know about the funnel of people who try the salve and then it leads them into another thing with cannabis where they feel like, oh, cannabis is good. This works. Maybe it could help me more. Maybe it could help me more. Maybe it could help me more. I'm just going down like
Exactly.
this because we haven't talked about that. We talked about suppositories, but if I
Right.
was standing in front of you and you were trying to give me, and I said, "Hey, what's this sweet almond oil over here?" What would you tell me, Tricia?
Well, the sweet almond oil, you can, uh, this, the sweet almond oil is good for lubrication. And that always seems to get people's attention when I say that, because I've never used the sweet almond oil specifically for lubrication, but I understand that if you use that, that it can light up inside because it's the Six Sisters, right?
Yes.
So my experience has been using suppositories with Six Sisters that I insert vaginally. And I'd have to say after 2 to 3 weeks, when I first tried them, and my husband and I had sex for the first time, it was like we were having sex for the first time, because I felt lit. I felt as though everything inside was alive, was feeling sensations I've never felt before. And he wasn't doing anything differently. He was the same partner, but it was me internally. I was probably 63. So as a woman, the vagina dries up.
Yes.
The vagina it closes. I mean, a
You
lot of things
lose
happen.
elasticity. Let's say
It
that.
loses a lot of the enjoyment. So when I was having sex before, it was very painful, not enjoyable. Then once the Six Sisters suppositories, now I had used other medicine with Western medicine with my doctor for this, but in the combination with the both, it was like everything worked better.
I love this. Thank you for bringing that up. We did talk about that at the time, and I really love that you use them in combination
Right.
to for you.
So I do one Interosa, one suppository every other day. I have it on my calendar, which one I'm supposed to take. I've had 2 visits with my doctor since, my gynecologist. She says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. She can tell the difference.
You can tell.
Okay.
Wow.
She can tell the difference. And again, I just had another exam in January. Everything looks beautiful. I love to hear that my vagina looks beautiful, that
I
it's
love to hear
healthy,
that your vagina looks beautiful, Tricia.
right? And that I
Yes.
don't have and that I'm able to control my urine a lot better. I
Thank you.
I am I am able to sit out there at the farm for probably 3 hours, maybe
Mhm.
more, without having to shishi. Okay. And I'm drinking water. And then when I
Right?
go, it's like, even last night when I woke up, I I went, I must have peed about a cup of liquid. It's like before I was up 3, 4, 5 times a night to pee.
And
I
so
got up
unsatisfied. Not a
once.
cup of liquid. You're going again at frequency, urgency.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
worst.
And now it's like, ah, okay, I'm done for a while. I don't have that urgency. I got to go right now. I'm going to pee my pants. I don't have any of that anymore since I
Sometimes
started
I'm
using.
actually like kind of I wait so long.
I
I'm like, oh
know.
now I gotta go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I
crazy how
really go.
long you can go now. It's different.
Exactly.
Yes.
But it's such a wonderful thing. And another beauty of the suppositories is the scent. If you're using cocoa butter, my
Yes.
girl just smells heavenly. You know,
She
my
smells like
husband likes
a
the smell.
cocoa bean
He
down there.
likes the
Yeah, it's
taste. You
beautiful.
know, it's
And
like it's
weed.
all good. It's nice. It's just
Yeah.
simply nice. Right?
Oh, lovely. I thank you for this little part of the conversation. Of course, you know I'm a giant fan. And your results have been meaningful to me for a long time.
Right. I mean, the first couple of times it was like, wow. I mean, I felt so lit up inside. I was crying because it was such a sexual release that I felt like I'd been holding this in for years because of the pain. But when she was ready to accept, it was like, wow, this is having sex for the rest of your life is a gift. From
It is.
It's a
It's
gift.
a gift.
It's the most beautiful feeling that we as a women anybody can have. We all deserve to have sex for the rest of our life, enjoyable sex.
Enjoyable sex. My favorite book on this topic, I wish I had it close to me, is Sizzling Sex for Life by Michael Castleman. It's beautiful.
Right?
Yes, sizzling sex for life, you know.
Right.
And he talks about full
Exactly.
body massage. He talks about, stimulation of each other manually and being open in your mind to,
Right.
whatever enjoyment is going to come between you and yourself or you and a partner.
Exactly. Exactly. And we've been married for 27 years and we have it's necessary to keep it exciting.
Yes.
Exciting. Because I don't want to get bored. He doesn't want to get bored. Let's make it fun.
What a beautiful attitude. Simple as that. Let's make it fun. We're in this together. I want to enjoy
Ex-
you. You want to enjoy me. We said so in front of somebody one time and signed a paper. You know,
Exactly.
let's just keep
Exactly.
doing it.
And unless you work on it, it's not going to work on itself. I mean,
That's
yes,
the
I love
truth.
my womanizer by myself, but thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
That was the best gift I ever bought for myself.
Good.
But together, year after year, it's like, it's not just about that. It's about the the love and the acceptance and the nurturing and everything that goes along with it. And now with the Six Sisters, the sex is just fabulous.
And you just can't help but tell women about that. You really can't. You have to share. I
Right.
think that like sisterhood demands it.
Right. And so, yeah, the sweet almond oil is something that I tell people to put on the skin and that, yes, it can help with sexual lubrication. But for me personally, I like the suppositories because to me, it gives the full effect. I like the smell. I can double up. I can let it melt on the outside, let it melt on the inside, and then we're
Mhm. Just
we're
spread
good
the
to go.
love around. I call, spread the love around.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he ends up doing, spreading it all around.
If that's what feels good, come on.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
That's beautiful. I'm a huge fan. I love it so much. Okay, so we talked about your growing, the Cannatrol, your farming, the Moonology framework that you blossomed within. And Tricia, I mean, it's like we're coming to the end. Do you want to tell people to come and visit you in Hawaii and see the farm?
I would love it if people were to come out to CARE Waialua and take a tour of the farm. I think it's a wonderful experience for people. It's a farm where they grow cannabis for 1,000 to 1,200 different patients. They
Wow.
have about they have 1,000 plants right now. It's really a beautiful thing to see the mother plants, the mother trees.
Yeah.
I'll put them as mother trees. They're in their separate area, and how they're cloning and how they're expanding. And um, yeah, I think it's a beautiful site for people that have their cards. If you are in another state and you want to come and visit the farm, all you have to do is, show you that you have a card and you're welcome to come in and they can sign you up so you can make purchases while you're there at the farm here in Hawaii.
That's beautiful. Hawaii has that kind of reciprocity. So wonderful for sharing that. Do you want to share about the talking that you did at a meeting at an event were you on television and
Actually, it hasn't come on TV yet, but I was asked to go down to the state capital of Hawaii to oppose Senate Bill 669 was about how they wanted to legalize recreational use here, adult use, but the dispensaries were going to have way too much power, and the farm wasn't going to be able to exist. They were only going to allow 5 licenses per site. Well, we went down there, and I gave a 2-minute talk, and a lot of people have since gone back and done their 2-minute talk, and the Senate bill has been changed,
Oh,
and
good.
it is now going to the House of Representatives. They changed the wording. It's pretty much everything that we asked.
How
So
lovely. How lovely for
so
that to
the
work.
advocacy of us all going down there and speaking even just 2 minutes and just being persistent and letting them know that this is not acceptable for dispensaries to make all the profit, why we still have people incarcerated. You have to let the people free first,
Freedom.
and then let's talk about profit. But right now, it's every farmer, me included, will get a license to sell our product, and that's the way it should be.
Correct. I
So,
agree. Wonderful
so
work, Tricia.
Uh,
Wonderful.
I was interviewed for the local television station. They came and interviewed the owner of the farm, Jason, and then they came out and asked me if I wanted to talk about my products, and I did, and I thought it was a great opportunity. They asked me what it is about the farm that serves me the best, and it was that I get to see patients
Mhm.
that need my medicine, that are medicinal card holders, that are getting benefit from my medicine. And no, it's not regulated, it's not inspected, it's not any of that. But I do give away my medicine. I have compassionate care. I'm not all about profits. I'm here to help the people for the people. So that it was changed, and the owner, Jason, was very happy with it. It's like, good, I did my part. Now, whether it comes on the television, it doesn't really matter. I just was excited to be able to voice my opinion when it was needed. And if it's helpful to help other people, then please let me speak out. Yes, because
Whether or not it gets on the air, you did it.
it
They
doesn't
walked, you
matter.
got the opportunity and you said yes. And furthermore,
Mhm.
you went and spoke and did it. And that's I'm so proud of you. Nobody can take that away from you, even if it never gets aired.
Right, it doesn't matter because I had the opportunity, I was there, and it's just a matter of talking about cannabis and making it normalize it. Like,
Thank you
yes, this
so
is what I
much.
do. This is what I'm making. I'm here and I'm making a little bit of
There's
money,
no
but
other
I'm not,
choice. Yeah, you said,
yeah,
"Oh, I'm not regulated, blah 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 blah." Like homemade health. There isn't another choice really at this point, at this juncture, for a lot of this kind of medicine. And I think that bringing back, it's the same thing as if you were making a good homemade meal.
right. And now that you mentioned homemade health,
Oh yeah.
I signed up to continue my learning because I too want to be able to make concentrates and use the source turbo. I want to be a part of that. Right now I've been kind of busy, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are taken for me right now. But in the near future I'll be able to come into the class again so I can learn more from you. So
I love it.
I'm looking forward to that because you helped me learn so much with the Six Sisters, and you're helping others learn so much. And people are taking what you formulated, what you taught us to formulate, and we're healing from it. We're helping our families heal. And so with the concentrate, I know that's going to make my life easier
It will. It's
when
a
it comes to
delicious
I won't have to use so
formulation.
much flour
Yes.
and oil, so
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that as well. So we all change, we all grow, we're all transforming. We're becoming better cannabis entrepreneurs day by day.
In each our own way, and with the
Yes,
blessings upon us that we
yes,
are so grateful to receive in this work. You
yes,
know, I'm so proud of everything you're doing. I'm so grateful that you did it. I really am. I'm very practical at heart, Tricia. I'm not that complicated. When you
right.
take action and make the changes happen and allow these beautiful miracle moments to flow through your life and through your work, that's all I want. And you did it beautifully before I even met you. It's just wonderful. So I'm happy
Right, but
to, yeah.
it's just so wonderful for it to flow through me. It's like it's it's a it's it's a lot of giving. It's a lot of giving, but believe me, I'm receiving from all of these people when I see their eyes and I see how they're healed and they're telling me their stories. That's the gift. that's the soul payment, right? That's more than the money payment.
So much
That's the
more.
soul, so much more.
So
So,
much more. Well, we should end there. That was beautiful. Tricia, thank you so much for being on my channel with me and sharing your beautiful stories about being with me in my class, your own life, how you're helping people in Hawaii, and making differences in your own life and those around you, your husband, your community. I couldn't be happier. And I hope that anybody who's hearing and seeing this interview is also inspired to,
mm,
be the miracle that they are called to be, like you are.
mm.
Thank you so much.
Mahalo nui loa. It was such a pleasure to be with you here today, Michelle.
Same.
Aloha.
All right.